I don't say that all of my coaching clients before they started working with me made this mistake. However, I do say that a lot more women who I've coached made this mistake than necessary. There are certain things that you can do at the beginning of the dating process and even in the first couple of minutes of your first date that can prevent a terrible, toxic, abusive relationship. And that's what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about why it's so incredibly important to never, and I really mean never, ever, ever, ignore a man's energy. And to be honest, I feel bad for you as a modern woman, because you've been conditioned by the media, by TV shows, by movies, 50 Shades of Grey, After We Collide, 36, or what is it, 36, 35, 6, 36, 4, 30, what is it again, 30, 56, whatever days, 365 days, that's what I wanted to say. I think that's what this crazy movie is called. Jesus Christ, what was that? Anyway, I'm still not a native speaker. So yes, let's be a little bit more serious again. I truly feel bad for how modern women have been conditioned to fall for the wrong man. How you've been lied to by the media and by movies to fall for the narcissistic dickhead who treats you like crap. And let's be honest, there's not one movie out there, not one TV show out there where a kind, loving man is falling for a completely narcissistic woman who abuses him left and right, and this TV show is celebrated. However, books and movies such as 50 Shades of Grey and 365 Days, yes, that's what the movie is called, and After We Collide are celebrated. Oh, these men are so incredible. Oh, we should admire these men. We should want these men. And as a result, millions of women, and some of them end up in Skype coaching sessions with me, ignore a man's energy because of what I believe is energy brainwashing by the media, by movies. I mean, think about it. What do you see when you watch 50 Shades of Grey? You are sold this idea that a man who's completely controlling, completely abusive, not empathetic in any way, suddenly, magically turns around, becomes the most loving father, most loving husband, and in the end of the last movie, you see them playing with the child in the green and everything is so romantic. That's not reality. And that's what I mean when I say that women have been lied to by the media and especially by movies. And that's why it's so important that you do not ignore a man's energy. You might meet the most successful and most handsome man on planet Earth, but if his energy screams red flag, red flag, red flag, then you have to be careful. And like I said, you've been conditioned to ignore these red flags. You've been conditioned to ignore the energy. In fact, you've been conditioned by the media, by TV shows, by movies to actually crave men who have a terrible, toxic, abusive energy. And that's why it's so important that you break free from this conditioning and really see who he is. Not in this kind of movie Hollywood fantasy of, oh my god, I can rescue that guy. Oh, I can change him. Forget about all of this. What energy does he project on the very first date with you? That's the most important part. Not what Hollywood tries to convince you, not what Hollywood tries to make you believe that, oh, you can change him, he will change, oh, everything will change if you just love him enough. Believe me, so many of my coaching clients have said the following sentence: I thought he would change if I just love him enough. No. Look at his energy. And what I want to do with you now is to go through some of the different energy states that a man might have. And with each energy state that I discuss, it gets better and better. So we start with the worst. And then we work our way through these energy states. And I want you, from these 7 energy states that I'm going to share with you, only date men who have energy state 5, 6, and 7. And I want you to stay away from men who have energy state 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because now it's time for you to finally break free from this cultural conditioning, from the conditioning from the media, and to choose the right man, to choose a man who has the energy that allows you to create a fulfilling relationship, the energy that allows you to build something with him without him destroying it. And this actually leads me to the, in my opinion and my experience as a coach, the worst energy of all. And that's the narcissist. And that's unfortunately also what you are conditioned to chase. And yes, I truly believe that. Again, 365 days, 50 Shades of Grey, After We Collide, and all the other crazy after movies. Almost every movie out there that is tailored to women in this kind of fantasy of I can turn him around, I can change him. I mean, it just doesn't work in real life. I promise you, it does not work. It maybe works 1 out of 1,000 times. I've coached women who've been in relationships with narcissists. I've helped women to break out of these relationships. I've helped women to overcome their trauma from these relationships. I've helped women to date again after they've been in such a relationship and they were no longer able to trust men. I've helped women in all of these stages in relationships with narcissists. And I can tell you that I've never coached a woman where the guy changed. Ever. It's scientifically proven, and every psychologist would agree with that unless the narcissist loses everything, unless there's such a big narcissistic injury that he sees no other choice than to change, no other option than to seek therapy, nothing will change. It doesn't work like in 50 Shades of Grey. He won't just at some point realize, oh my god, I love you, I will change for you, I will be the best dad and husband ever. It won't happen. Movies have lied to you that it will happen, but I can guarantee you, or for legal reasons as I always say, I almost guarantee you it won't happen. And if you have the feeling that there's something narcissistic about him, when you're on the first date with him, he has this grandiose sense of self-worth. He's only talking about himself. He doesn't care about your emotions and your feelings. He treats others with disrespect. Then be careful. I mean, of course I want to help you, but I want to help you to attract the love of your life. I don't want you to be the next woman who books a coaching session with me because she's emotionally, spiritually, completely destroyed because she fell for the narcissist. And this leads me to the second energy, the energy of an unambitious loser. If you're on a date with a guy and he has no vision for the future, there's nothing that he wants to achieve, he can't hold a job for more than 6 months. And that's especially important. It's always the employer's fault. It's always the business partner's fault. It's always the fault of other people. If you're on a date with such a guy who makes up excuses after excuses after excuses why he can't succeed, and it's always the other people's fault, you have been warned. If it's always the other people's fault, then it's most likely his fault, because otherwise all other people would be stupid and terrible, and that's in most cases just not true. And this leads me to the next energy, and that's the energy of a misogynist, of somebody who most likely has experienced some trauma in the past that made him think this way. A lot of misogynistic men had terrible relationships with their mothers. That doesn't mean that I excuse this behavior. It's just a psychological fact. I mean, I'm really blessed when it comes to the relationship with my parents. I have a wonderful relationship with my father, and I also have a wonderful relationship with my mother. However, not everybody is so lucky. I get it. However, if he still has these misogynistic tendencies and you get the feeling that somehow he doesn't like women, the way he talks about women, he doesn't like women. I just can't get rid of this feeling that he doesn't like women. That's your gut feeling telling you something. And when it comes to women who've been in relationships with men who clearly don't love women or not even like women, a lot of my coaching clients actually told me that they had this gut feeling in the beginning. I mean, if I was on a date with a woman who clearly hates men, I would also feel that. You feel it by listening to them. And in the same way, you can use your antenna, your internal guidance system, your gut feeling, to figure that out pretty fast. Unless you allow yourself to get distracted by his good looks, by his success, and you ignore the energy. Always remember it's about the energy. And now let's talk about the energy of a player. The energy of a player is impatience. That's how I would describe it with one word. And that's also why I always give my coaching clients the advice that when they are looking for a serious monogamous relationship, make the guy wait a little bit. Because a player who's only looking for a one-night stand, he will simply move on if he doesn't get what he wants on the first, second, or third date. Of course, that doesn't mean that you can't have a wonderful relationship when you sleep with him on the first date. However, you have no chance whatsoever to figure out if this guy is actually serious about you or if he was just interested in quick fun. That's why I advise you to let him wait a little bit. And my girlfriend did the same with me. I mean, I mentioned it before. She said very clearly, I want a relationship. I'm interested in you for a relationship. I will not sleep with you before there's not signs of you committing to me. I mean, she didn't say it in this direct way, but the way she communicated with me, the way she behaved around me, I knew what was going on and I respected that. And if I had not respected that, she would have moved on. And in the same way, if a guy doesn't respect that from you and he says, oh, come on, yeah, I want to sleep with you, don't worry about it, no, we can do it now. And if he pushes you, then be careful. He might, or I would say it's almost 99% clear, he's just looking for quick fun. And now let's talk about the energy of a kind and caring man. Now we come into the territory of the energy that you should be looking for. Does he have altruistic tendencies? How does he talk about his ex-girlfriend? Does he talk about his ex-girlfriend with respect, with kindness, with love in his heart? And I don't mean that he still wants her back. I just mean that he talks about her in a kind, respectful way. I mean, if you're on a date with a guy and you ask him, hey, how's your ex? I mean, yeah, what do you think about her? And he says, oh God, this beep, I want to beep her and then beep. I mean, these are all words that I want to censor right now. Then you know that this guy doesn't have the kind and caring attitude that you should be looking for in a man. So does he have this kindness in his eyes, kindness in his heart? Does he talk about others with love, with respect? That's the kind of guy that you want to have in your life, or at least I hope you want to have this kind of guy in your life. And of course, you also want to make him devoted to you, because devotion is an emotion that's even stronger than love. And if you want to know how you can make your man, the man of your dreams, the kind and caring man that you will soon meet, 100% devoted to you, you can go to gethimkeeping.com/devoted. That's gethimkeeping.com/devoted and watch this incredible explainer video. And then you have the opportunity to invest in a program that I've recommended to so many of my coaching clients. Of course, you can also decide to read more about this amazing program by going to gethimkeeping.com/system or by simply clicking on the second link in the description. And now let's talk about the energy of a man who has been hurt before, but who has undergone trauma healing, or at least who's willing to heal his trauma. This man might still have some problems when it comes to trust, when it comes to intimacy, and when it comes to expressing himself fully and opening his heart. However, I know that from my own experience as somebody who's been through trauma healing. I mean, I was born with a congenital heart defect. I had several heart surgeries in my life. My twin brother died during birth. There were all kinds of things that were going on in my life that eventually led me on a healing journey. And I think I mentioned it before in other episodes, but I want to mention it again. I know for a fact that if I hadn't done my trauma healing and I hadn't opened my heart fully, I would have not been able to attract my wonderful, loving girlfriend. And the same is true for the man that you might meet very soon. So when you're meeting such a man who's been hurt in the past or who has to overcome trauma, encourage him to overcome his trauma, be there for him, guide him, support him, and then you might be amazed at how loving, caring, supportive, and loyal such a guy can be. And this brings me to the energy of a man who loves his life, who loves himself, and who loves women. And if you're on a date with such a man, then you want to make him devoted to you. You never want to let go of him, because this guarantees that you will have a happy life with him and a wonderful, fulfilling relationship. And I want to mention it again, if you want to have the power to make this man the man who loves his life, who loves himself, and who loves women, so devoted to you that he will love you forever, then you can go to gethimkeeping.com/devoted, or if you want to read about this incredible method, go to gethimkeeping.com/system, and you can also find both of these links in the description. And if you enjoyed watching this video, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Share your opinion, share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And I would love it even more if you would hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.